2022 that the CPDM and its national chairman have won all elections in the country.
Yeah, because
except you have different figures.
I have different figures because they have the yam and the knife. What happens is that I can even bet right now that as the elections are hovering around, very soon there's going to the government is going to launch a campaign for free identification cards. What happens? Your name is Eddie Etawo.
Etawo.
Eddie Etawo is going to vote by default in all the 10 regions in Cameroon and how many subdivisions and divisions. What happens is that, and this thing I'm saying, I know somebody who works at the Ministry of Territorial Administration, and what they do is that they take your name, Elie Smith, they change it Smith Elie. They do it, they transfer, because Elie Smith and Smith Elie are two different persons. They will do that all around the country, and you vote by default. It is never a transparent election in this country.
Okay.
If there was anything like a transparent elections, this government of Paul Biya will not be able to win one single election, because Paul Biya is not Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. He is not Lee Kuan Yew. He's just somebody who is so corrupt and incompetent, has done nothing about this country.
Thanks very much, Elie Smith. Just to remind our viewers that that's going to be one of our main talking points when we come for the next edition on Thursday. Meantime, we'll stay here and we're going to rush out to Kimbo. That's the headquarters of the Bui Division in the northwest region of Cameroon, to talk to our permanent correspondent out there. Hello, Lambert, Kevin.
Good morning, Divine. Good morning to Elie Smith.
How are you doing? How is Kimbo today?
We are still to come to claim against what happened last Thursday.
Was it Thursday or Friday? I hear there was another fire and it, brought down the motor park near St. Augustine's Junction to ashes. Is that correct?
Divine, it is terrible. It was on Thursday, and we were called at about 9:30 that there is fire. I can say fire on the mountain, but this time it was not fire on the mountain. It was instead fire in the market. We rushed there and discovered that close to 100 shops have been, were already reduced to ashes and dust, and there was nothing we could do. Coupled with the fact that there is no army rescue in Kumbu, there was no firefighting brigade, there is nothing in Kumbu as far as water is concerned, and people were just struggling. Others were trying to remove some of the things from their shops in vain. Everything went down, and in fact, where I was very disappointed was where thieves came in. Yeah. They were trying to remove some of the items that could be saved from the disastrous fire.
Okay.
Other guys were struggling, and carrying away some of the things in form of stealing.
Hello.
And so many things. I can remember one guy who struggled to remove everything from his shop. But as I'm talking to you now, the guy cannot have up to half of what was saved from the fire, because of the thieves that came around, and they did everything to steal almost everything from that market.
Thank God, Lambert. Lambert, thanks for the beautiful images we're having there. Thanks for your courage to have gone out that night to get those images for us. But fortunately, nobody was hurt. That's what I understand. Are you suspicious this fire might have come from a premeditated source?
I spoke with the night watchman, Frank, and he told me very clearly that when he was doing his patrol in the market, he discovered fire coming from up. That there was a short circuit somewhere coming from Enio.
Okay. And
I can agree with him, because I have 5 computers here in the station where I am working, and they are all been destroyed by the Enio. So we can suspect the Enio company for this fire accident.
Okay. That's good.
We have so many transmitters that have got bad because of Enio. So we cannot just say the fire has been burned by somebody, because the somebody is yet to be known.
Okay, that's fine, because I was thinking that we could link it up with what happened in Bamenda, the main market, and what happened recently in Limbe. So finally, we don't think that this is the work of, probably the hardline anglophones?
That is what we are saying. Some people are saying that it may come from that. And as you can see there, Divine, it was very embarrassing that one lady whose shop was not even burned, had to beat my camera.
I could see that in the images. I could see that in the images. Lambert, you take care of yourself, right?
Thank you very much, Divine. As I'm talking to you now, my heart is not all that okay. But as far as I am concerned, the images must go on Canal. Despite the risk we are taking, and to let me tell you, Divine, the struggle. I had to go to Miami yesterday to send these images to you, sending around 7,500. So it's not easy. So we're just praying that the government should give us the internet so that we should be working together. It is news, and people must see what is happening.
Don't you worry, we're going to have a special program on the internet cut-off in your part of the country and, of course, the impacts on the country's economy. We have close to 2 billion CFA francs are currently registered as losses by the government of Cameroon. That's information from a French NGO called Internet Without Borders. Now, let's go and listen to one of the victims of the fire and eyewitnesses, rather. We'll start up with the night watchman. He's called Fon Nje Aminu, and then we'll listen to the others, including the lady who almost broke your camera.
Fire and contact. This current way they don't contact for inside market. The current is just a contact before me. I want to try me I open the gate, then I shout, then so other people they just can't say no broke the gate. They just broke the gate. They will broke that gate. They will enter. We try for quencher, we fire extinguisher. Unless we get a one, we pray for B, sometimes two. By that time, okay. Sometimes
so we not talk say the bona na bona.
No, I'm not saying na bona with the bona because I see fire na for up.
Okay.
Wait, I see fire for up cable there. Okay. Now cable the way they don't contact.
Okay, pa. Yes. Thank you plenty.
Yes, I am Jav Jibri. I'm the third deputy mayor of Kumbo. Me, I'm at the scene now. The whole market is on fire. We don't know from where we don't know the cause. The whole market is just completely burnt. We don't know what to say.
Okay, all right. You don't. Okay.
That's definitely out of frustration. Of course, we can understand when anger bubbles to a maximum. Now, he doubles not only as a seasoned barrister, he actually works with the Cameroon Bar Association. He's also national president of the party, the Patriote pour le Démocrate Développement du Cameroun, something like that. But in English, it's roughly translated to mean Democratic Patriots for the Development of Cameroon, PADEC.
Exactly.
Welcome, Barrister Jean de Dieu Momo.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you on the panel today.
Yeah, mine too. I'm very happy to be at Canada English at your invitation. I'm very happy to discuss with you today.
You say it's a chance to boost your English.
Yes, and
because
I was
you're
frustrated that you have not
speaking.
invited me for so long. So as long as you don't invite me, my English go poor.
Now let me start with you. After several backstage consultations since mid-March and alternatively between Bamenda in the south, in the northwest, and Boya in the southwest regions of Cameroon, the Bar Council President, Barrister Jackson Nye Kamga, on Sunday announced that common law lawyers who have been boycotting the courts in the English-speaking parts of the country had resolved Barrister Momo to resume duty on May the 2nd, 2017. Under normal circumstances, this should be good news for Cameroon's judicial system. But the circumstances are abnormal.
Yes, this could be a good news. But, let us see in May if everything will come to become normal. Mm-hmm. Because, I can see that the government has tried to satisfy all the need of the lawyers and try to distinguish the problem of the lawyers and the problem of other people in the northwest and southwest region, try to solve the corporation problem. So if this problem is solved, I can see there's no reason that why the lawyers will not return to court.
Okay.
Because this is the preoccupation, and our major preoccupation, we are concerned, as a lawyer, it's not only the problem of a lawyer of English expression, it's a problem of all the lawyers in
How does it, and it's good that you make mention of that point, how does the problem of the common law lawyers affect you? You're basically French speaking, first of all,
of course,
before
but
being Cameroonian.
I have in my chamber, I have many anglophones as a lawyer.
Okay.
So I used to go there to play it. I'm not only the lawyer of Francophone, I'm the lawyer of Anglophone as well. So I have the case there. I have the case in Southwest. So what I'm going to do when there is no...
Is that case common law or civil law jurisdiction?
It's a common law jurisdiction.
Okay.
Yeah, when you go to Southwest, you use the common law.
Fortunately for you, you must have both systems.
Yes.
Now turning over to you, Eddie Etawo. Well, the Bâtonnier's announcement should be considered a logical outcome of what the government has done. That's what the Bâtonnier actually says. He says the government has announced the creation of a common law bench at the Supreme Court, the introduction of a common law section at the Advanced School of Administration and Magistracy, and now it has also announced the planned recruitment of, massive recruitment, if you don't mind, of Anglophone legal practitioners into the public service. This is good news. Tidings of great joy.
I think this is good news, and I thank the government at last. I think the government at last has heeded to the plea of the Anglophone, especially those of the common law layers. I blame them for taking so much time, and because of their intransigence, they have beaten the country into the kind of cacophony, socially and otherwise.
In other words, you were saying that the measures that are being taken today would have partly resolved this problem.
They would have preempted
if they were enacted
a long time ago. They would have preempted many problems that we are going through today. But thank God they have come to terms with the fact that the common law really had a problem in this country, and they have taken necessary steps to resolve it. I think it is good news, Divine.
Okay. Now I have this quote. It was actually posted on the web by Jean-Marc Sobot, who was a journalist based in Cameroon but voluntarily left for exile in Canada. He actually quoted the runaway president of the Northwest Lawyers Association, Barrister Bob Harmony, who's currently in the United States. Barrister Harmony and Barrister Momo, I'm bringing this question to you. Barrister Harmony says, and that's where the problems begin with the announcement by Bâtonnier Jackson Yegamga, but Barrister Harmony says he has no mandate to call off the sit-in strike because he wasn't there when they called.
The Bâtonnier has no mandate.
No mandate. He cannot speak on behalf of the common law lawyers. That's where the problems begin.
Yeah, this is probably a problem of semantic problem. The Bâtonnier of the president of the Bar Association.
Yes.
As his name is the president. He's the president of all the bar. We have not two bar. We are not Anglophone bar and Francophone bar. So my brother and friend Harmony, that I know very well, is wrong to say that the Bâtonnier has not the mandate to say to publish it. Now, that means maybe there's some problem, because I don't like that way they try to separate Anglophones lawyer and a Francophone lawyer.
Because
we have always
the systems, Barrister Momo, if you don't mind, one of them is called common law system, another is called civil law system. So they are not the same.
I was the first to publish that, right?
Okay.
This problem, I was the first to touch it. I was the very first to write since 2002.
Calling for harmonization.
Yes, I was saying that. How come the language of the so-called OADA, according to section 48, is French,
right?
Where we have a country who is English and who use English and French. So I know all that problem, but we belong to one organization who is calling the Cameroon Bar Association.
Okay, now let me get over to you, Eddie Etawo. I know you are itching to say something, but I'll put it to you in the form of a question. Some say the Bâtonnier's intervention in the unfolding crisis at this belated stage is suspicious. The Bar Council did not say anything when the common law lawyers began their strike in October 2016. They sat quiet up until after April
Okay,
the 8th.
if you put the question in that way, I can
Eddie?
understand.
Right.
If you put the question on that way, because
Eddie, you want to let him have the go first?
No,
I
listen.
blame the Bar Council.
No, I
the
don't.
silence of the Bar Council at the beginning.
No,
I blame.
I don't
you know.
think. I don't think the bar.
Eddie?
I have had 2 or 3 encounters with Barrister Ntaryineke and he told me what he has done to meet the Minister of Justice and to meet some common law lawyers regard to how this problem could be preempted and how his pleas felt on deaf ears. So I once more I blame the government's intransigence.
Absolutely.
Secondly, what I think, but look, until further notice,
Yeah.
this country remains, the form of this country has not changed. The form of this government has not changed. We are a unitary state, regardless of. Yes. So the Bar Council is a national Bar Council. It was put in place by the famous Barrister Harmony, who he took part in voting, and the Bar Council in Cameroon incorporates 2 systems: the civil law system and the common law system.
Okay.
So if today Barrister Harmony has fled, I mean, I expected him to be here.
Yeah.
You don't pin a banner and you run away. Yeah? There are people who have made a point, they are in jail, but they go down as heroes. They are there fighting for the cause, and someday the results will be there. I don't expect Barrister Harmony to sit in a cozy hotel in the US or wherever and be sending statements here.
Well,
He should come back. Yeah,
his statement remains that Batone Jackson Ntaryineke has no mandate to speak on behalf of common law lawyers.
That is not true. I think Batone Ntaryineke has a...
It is his duty to speak for the lawyers. Okay.
Where do you find a comfort zone, Barrister Momo? Huh? Where do you find, imagine a comfort zone if civil law lawyers are attacked, their robes seized, their wigs, damaged and so on? Would the Bar Council be silent? This is what happened
Mr.
to the
Divine,
common law lawyers.
Just look at the back first. What happened when Sama Francis was arrested long time ago? All the Bar Council was concerned.
That was a long time ago.
Yes,
we're talking about the cluster of common law lawyers.
Yes, I blame the Francophone, not all, some Francophone has not taken part of this problem, has not been very implicated to solve this problem as we was thinking all the lawyers could be took it as well. I understand that, but say that the bâtonnier, who is the president of all the Bar Council according to the law, has the power according to the law to represent all the lawyers. It is his duty.
Not to cut you short, a few weeks ago, he pretended to presume, I mean, I'm talking about Harmony, Barrister, he pretended to presume he had created a West Cameroon, a common law in
This is not yet official.
This is not yet until it becomes official.
Until it becomes official.
Yeah, Kamga has
you cannot stay in the marquee, in the brush.
And I think that I'm calling on all common law lawyers, to heed to the voice of their bâtonnier, because I think government has finally heed to the voice of the common law lawyers. All they wanted has been met. And I think there's no country without the judiciary, without the lawyers.
And I add that what Harmony is doing is not different of what the people calling Ambazonia Republic has done. People of secession. Harmony tried to separate the bar council
into a common law council and civil law bar council.
It is his right. But let this be official.
Yes.
For now, it's not yet official.
Yes.
And so for now, it is Mr. Ntaryineke, who is the president of the bar.
The Bar Council, which includes the common law lawyers and the civil law lawyers.
It was Sama Francis. It had been other lawyers of anglophone expression.
Barrister Momo, we are going to pursue discussions on this very subject in a jiffy. But now, for your information, Eddie Etawo, a couple of lawyers we contacted in the course of preparing this edition of Toughtalk simply chickened out. In other words, They refused to speak to us on camera. And those who even agreed to say a few words said they could only do so if we gave them guarantees that their identities will be clouded in anonymity. Well, you're laughing, Barrister Momo, but some of them are citing fear of reprisals, even from the bâtonnier himself. Rather, they say they cannot come out and speak against him and go back and not expect to be knocked hard upon. Now, here are some of the impressions we got yesterday.
That president doesn't know what he's saying. It's not a matter of force or coercion that you think that can impose on that person. It's legitimate right to call the common law lawyers to go to work. But it is rather unfortunate that he was not the one who told them not to go to work. They called a strike on their own. When the other colleagues are in detention, I don't see them needing to not communicate. I think the battalion should go tell them, okay, you see, I've released your leader. Okay, I've done this. The common law bench is now available at the Supreme Court. The anglophones section of a NAM is now functional, and such things should come by act of law, not by instructions.
We're forwarding memos to the government. The bar was silent. It came to a point where lawyers had to go on strike. The bar was still silent. So the common bar president cannot at this time call that the strike should be off because he's not the one who caught it in the first place. One is arrested and is in jail on a going trial for a death sentence. The other ones are large. How do we resume work when our colleagues who were the foreheads of our revendications are no more are large and the other ones are in jail? So I don't think work will resume.
To the bar president.
All right, Eddie, you were saying something, but let me give you this question. Yes. Some of the lawyers are emphatic. They say they can only imagine resuming duty on May the 2nd, 2017, if their colleagues, and especially Barrister Felix Agbon Kongo, who is detained in Yaoundé and facing pre-trial rather, is released. That's a beautiful precondition.
Yeah, I think
from a group of people who are protesting what they're protesting.
Well, for me, I think the arrest and detention of Barrister Bobala and a few other barristers came at a time it could not be avoided.
Okay.
Yes. The country was beaten into a cacophony. There was rampage, there was looting. I mean, government had the responsibility of restoring order.
By arresting every dick and tom.
Some people whom the government suspected were at the center. Divine, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example.
Some persons the government had been negotiating with only days before.
No, I'll give you an example. If somebody stood by your side, with the side of your house to take a cigarette, and all of a sudden your house is in flame, you will not justify that, oh, I wanted. No, the fact is your house is in flame. And you do everything to, in fact, the country was in total cacophony.
So some people needed to be arrested?
Yes, and detained so that investigations are really carried out, so that there's nothing that is as priceless as order and harmony. Children were not going to school.
They're still not going to school.
Yes,
Eddie Etawo.
Civil disobedience was rife. The economic activities were at a standstill. This you can't tolerate. I think what the government did at the time was inevitable. Now that the government has listened to, has acknowledged that the lawyers' problems are true, are genuine, and Laurence Esso, the Minister of Justice, had never been so polite. He's been very, very arrogant. Mm-hmm. Lawyers had tried to see him, he put them off. Eventually, but the last outing really showed that he has come back, he has realized.
When he made the announcement, and said they were on instructions from President Paul Biya.
Yes.
I'm sorry to cut you short, but we're gradually running out of time.
Yes.
Barrister, some of the common law lawyers we spoke to have reiterated that they want assurances that the likes of, well, Barrister Bobga Harmony will not be hunted down and probably harassed if they returned home from involuntary exile. That's a logical precondition.
I don't know much about Harmony, what he did. He did something that...
He decided to flee because...
He's looking by the police, he's interested by... I don't know if he did something before he flies.
Let me give you an idea, so probably you will get to know.
No, I know that...
There are 4 lawyers' associations in Anglophone Cameroon.
Yeah.
3 leaders of 3 of those associations are currently in hiding or have gone out on exile. And one of them, Felix Agbo Congo, is currently in jail, awaiting trial.
This precondition, I can see that it is normal.
Okay.
The government had to free him, because if you cannot solve the problem if you retain the hostage, if you retain the people, as we cannot see that those leaders have do something wrong. They have not burned the house. They have not committed any crime. Maybe you arrested them because they are the leaders, as others fly. It's good that you free them and let others come back home.
Okay.
And free, because how can you solve the problem when you arrested the leaders?
You arrest the same people you were negotiating with only hours before.
You cannot. I'm sorry. I'm not taking the part of the Anglophone. I'm not taking the part of government.
Okay.
But I'm taking the part of justice. It is justice when you want to solve a problem. If the government belongs to the people, if our government claim to be Democrat, he has to free the people, the leaders of Anglophone, the leaders of the lawyers that he has arrested.
As a sign of goodwill.
I was thinking that this precondition has been already achieved.
As a demonstration of goodwill and paving the path for genuine dialogue to begin.
Every syllogism has 3 statements. The first statement, the middle statement, and the conclusion. Government did
Our stage is a crisis currently.
We are about to
conclude.
To conclude, and the conclusion is that these people will be released. Government had government tagged these people with terrorism because there was total confusion. But the period of time has given government time, to see that these people were simply clamoring that things were not going well.
Exactly.
From the educational point of view, and so I think government haven't recognized this problem and further merging the suit. I think the logical conclusion is that in the days ahead, these people will be released. I think it is obvious.
I was assumed that this precondition has been already achieved. And that's why the president of the bar say, okay, it's finished. Everything is over.
I am positive. I'm positive.
We can start working at the court.
Okay.
I cannot imagine that you maintain the leaders in prison and say, okay, we start working. I mean, which arrangement have we?
Okay, Barrister, I'm going to stay with you and ask you this question. It's a bit delicate, but I'll just bring it to you as it comes from my mind. Now, from mid-March, from the 18th of March, the Bâtonnier has been organizing meetings alternatively in Boya in the southwest region and Bamenda in the northwest region. The information I have is that you have clusters of lawyers who leave Douala and Yaoundé for those trips. I mean, we can count not less than 8 such trips. The last one was on the 8th of April at the Parliamentarian flat in Boya. It's not a cheap hotel. Where does he get all of the money? Does it occur to you? Where does he get all of the money to organize the trips for the lawyers and to lodge them in such posh hotels? Is he playing a hidden government card?
The lawyers are not the poor people, and we are not allowed to stay in the hotel who has so much cheap.
Who bankrolls all of those meetings?
Our money, we contribute. All the lawyers contribute. Every lawyer has the duty to contribute for the function of the and the president of the bar and all the bar council use that money in good faith, I think.
Okay.
Because we have not yet arrested one of them to put in prison.
Are you going to muster the guts to ask the Bâtonnier to detail his expenditure? If at the end of the day he doesn't?
Yes, when we have our General Assembly, he presents it and we approve it. When we don't approve it, we say no. That money that you use to buy your flight ticket is not belong to you. You pay it by your pocket.
Let me just add something.
Yes,
you must know that in a country like us, where children are not going to school and lawyers are not practicing, a government in that situation cannot be a happy government. You must know the government was virtually on its knees, wondering what to do to get these things kickstart. Children back to school and I think if the government could have financed the batonniers meetings in order to get things working. I don't think
the government can help.
I don't think there's anything wrong in that. It is the responsibility of the government to put everything in place, to make sure that peace and serenity.
Because we are doing the public service. The lawyer are doing the public service. We are working with justice, not with the individual.
We're going to move out.
Working with justice. So the government has even the duty to give the money to the batonnier, to the bar council, to help.
That's information he should be able to provide, especially and render public, so such suspicions don't crop up. If on May the 2nd, 2017, the common law lawyers, accept to resume duty, do you see Barrister Nyekamga being appointed Minister of Justice after Laurent Eso? That would be a huge political point he scores.
No, I think I don't see Barrister Nyekamga. I think he's done. He was elected by president, but I don't see him being appointed.
Barrister Momo, is that the future Minister of Justice?
No, I don't think
keeper of the seals?
Nyekamga is working to become the minister. No. He's a gentleman who is working for the bar, who is trying to work for the bar. And I was surprised that he's not even agree each other with the Minister of Justice. Sometimes they are fighting. I can see this guy is trying to work to build the bar council.
In other words, you're concluding that...
I'm not thinking that he is making something wrong. He tried, even in this problem of anglophone lawyer, he tried too much. He tried to solve the problem, and he was fighting with the government.
And talking about solving problems, we are going to move out of the studios right now and head up to the northwest region of Cameroon, where the Deputy Lord Mayor for the Ndu Rural Council, that's in the Donga Mantung division of the northwest region, is waiting to tell us what transpired at a dialogue-seeking meeting they organized at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Foundation in Boya. That was at the weekend. Hello, Mayor Martin Fon Yembe. Good morning.
Hello, good morning, Divine.
You're already in Kimbo, I gather. You're in Kumbo.
Oh, yeah, sure. I stopped by thinking that my account with the bank had been credited, so that I could pick up a few things, a few notes from there, but I was disappointed.
Is
nothing yet in my account?
Is that the money that has been attributed to you guys, like salaries for mayors?
Yes, Divine. It's a pity that we're talking about salaries, and you will come to a council where you have 5 mayors, and they will decide to pay one, and then schedule the other one for the next 2 weeks, and so on. It is a horrible situation in Cameroon. The problem of liquidity, because when I stepped at the bank today, they told me, it's only one of you at the council who has it's like a type of tooth that was done, and he's the one who has picked the lucky job for this week. So that is the situation at the bank. So the issue of the outcry, the loud noise that is being made, that mayors are being paid and the rest and so on and so forth, it's a whole gap, because
but actually understood.
The money is just coming in bits.
Actually understood, Mayor Fon Yembe, that it's a gradual process.
Gradual, they should have been giving every other person the little that is available, not giving one and leaving the other in the same institution, because it will create problems when your family hears that the other man has received and you have not yet received. Nobody will want to believe. So I just want to say that there is a confused setup.
Okay, thanks, Mayor. Let's get to the bone of our contention right now. At the weekend, you were spotted in the southwest region, particularly in Boya, where you took part at this meeting at the Martin Luther King Jr. Memorial Foundation, organized by a group calling itself the Cameroon Civil Society Consultation Forum, not consortium.
No, consultation forum.
Now, I wanted to make that clear. So, I mean, what was the outcome of your discussions in Buea the weekend?
Thank you very much. Specifically, it was on April 6th, a very significant date, where the Cameroon Civil Society Consultation Forum really met at the Fakoship Conference Hall Plaza, and that's down at Buea. And the major theme was finding pathways for peace and national dialogue.
Okay.
As you will know, Divine, that ever since this crisis started, no particular civil society, no organized civil society has taken a position as to what should be the way out of the stalemate. Everybody seems to be scared. In fact, I was shocked that we were down there in Buea, and a lot of civil society organizations just stepped in 1-2 hours later on when they learned that we have not yet been arrested. There is this fear of the unknown that is like sweeping across the entire northwest and southwest region. And so we plucked the courage to do what we could do. And just as you have asked, we discussed 3 models, one of which was to find, to look at the problems of the lawyers, the teachers, the students, why the strike took place in the first place. Was it legitimate? And what actions have government taken? What should we do? What are the lapses? And where has the government done what was expected, and what has government not done? And we also examined the issue of policy, communication, the role of elite, the excessive use of lethal weapons, the destruction of property, false propaganda, because you know the issue of the internet there, when it was shut down, the SMS messages, anybody can sit in their house and just write anything.
Okay.
Like, for instance, they will write and begin to talk things that have no bearing on what is going on.
Lord Mayor, Lord Mayor, I'm sorry, I'm going to interrupt you there briefly. So,
right.
Was that one of the conclusions at your conclave, that the internet shutdown is a welcome initiative by the government?
That the government, in fact, like what you were just talking about, the government has taken a very positive move as far as issue of addressing the problems raised by the lawyers concerned. And as of now, the problem of the consultation forum was you cannot be implementing what the lawyers demanded while those who demanded those things peacefully are in detention.
All right.
You should set them free so that they will go back and tell their people, yes, we have achieved our goal.
Okay.
But when you keep them in and someone else is the one declaring that the strike is over, when he did not declare the strike, or he didn't call for the strike,
okay,
it sounds to me bizarre. And that is where I take exceptions with my friend, my colleague, Eddie, who is talking about and giving reason to what Nyekamga is doing.
Okay.
Nyekamga should just simply stand by the fact that the guys who are in detention should be released, so that what takes up on this day, one should not precede the other.
Okay.
It should be the other way around.
All right.
And so I think that is the what we are expecting to hear, and I believe that the lawyers are reasonable enough. They will be satisfied enough if the final thing is done by releasing their leader.
Okay, Mayor Fon Yembe. Mayor Fon.
Yes, Divine.
I also understand, and you must be very brief on this because we are, running out of time. I understand that you also kind of hit hard on the taxpayer-funded Cameroon Radio and Television, the CRTV, for what you termed lopsided and biased reporting that has only helped to fuel the crisis. Correct?
Correct. If you were to make a catalog of the false propaganda, because I only talked about, we were looking at the gaps on the side of the strikers and the side of the government. What CRTV has done has been very damaging, because of the false propaganda and the intimidatory aspect in which manner in which it has been carrying out this propaganda. And so the forum called on the state media, which is funded by the people's taxes, to, for once, remain objective, and that will be
lead us. In fact, it will help a lot in leading us to the conclusion, to the final solution that we are seeking.
Thanks very
because
much.
As of now, there is a team on the field which will be meeting on the 20th, and a press conference will be given on the 21st of April to tell the world what we have achieved so far.
Okay, thanks very much, Deputy Mayor, for talking to us this morning.
Well, I'm talking in my capacity as the executive director of Clubinet, one of the civil society organizations.
Thanks very much once again, and thanks for always being there to share your thoughts with us on Tough Talk. Thanks. We'll be getting back to you in due course. Now, let's just directly move on to our next major talking point for this morning, Barrister Momo Jean de Dieu. Thanks for also being there. And, well, the next topic is the decision by the military tribunal in Yaoundé last Friday to merge the cases of the arrested and detained Anglophone consortium leaders, especially Barrister Felix Nkongo Agbo, and the others who were arrested, well, in connection with the crisis, but in different parts of the country and in under very different circumstances. The Defense Council has been frowning at the court decision pronounced by Colonel Abega Eko. Is there any reason to frown? The charges are the same: terrorism, hostility towards the homeland, and etc.
I can see that. I don't understand why he did it, but you know, my position is that the people that was arrested has not been to judge at the Yaoundé, because we can have a military tribunal in Bamenda.
They're actually tentacles of the same court in the...
So my position was like that. I don't understand why they committed a crime. If they committed a crime in Bamenda, they arrested them and judged them in Yaoundé.
Okay.
Like there was no tribunal in Bamenda or in Buea.
Okay.
This is my point.
Now I'm going to give you an answer, and this is a curl from a response given in recent months or several months passed by Communication Minister and Government Mouthpiece Issa Chiroma Bakari. He says the magnitude of the alleged offenses warranted that the cases be relocated from the regional headquarters, Buea and Bamenda, to Yaoundé, which has a national representation. But the question, Eddie Etawo, is that, well, some of the defense councils have been insisting that this is a miscarriage of justice to join the two cases because the arrested people were not picked up in the same places and at the same time.
Well, I think, as I told you, it is the end of a very long process.
You keep on insisting on the fact that it is the end.
And I think you should see it coming. You know, these people were arrested on counts like terrorism, and they needed to prove whether these people were really terrorists or not. I think government had time to see it clearly that these people were just asking for change in the judiciary and the education system, so that...
And on the sidelines, property was destroyed, lives were lost,
no, but that notwithstanding, but so that at the end of it all, the Anglophone culture will be respected and properly kept. This is what I think government has come. So merging them together is just to... And in addition to that, government has recognized that these protesters made a point. Educationally, there were things that were going fundamentally wrong. Legally, there were things that were going wrong.
Okay.
Now, after having recognized this, I think the logical conclusion is that those who expressed their opinion, their grievances against things which were objectively way wrong, it should be released. I think, as far as I'm concerned, merging this, the suspected people together is just a move towards the days ahead.
A collective release.
Releasing them. I am positive that in the days ahead, mark my words, because the government is under pressure from all angles to release these people.
Okay.
And it cannot just do it the stroke or the wave of the hand.
Okay.
There are administrative.
I'm not so
that sure. This is my point of view.
Yes, of course.
You can keep your own. I am sure the government, there's an administrative way of handling this issue.
Okay.
Bringing them together is just a way of showing that these people had this to say about these issues. Now we have recognized this, and the next step is that these people should be removed. And I see that in the days ahead, the next court hearing, I think most of these people, including the Barrister Gobala and the rest of the people, will have their liberty.
We'll be waiting for that prediction to come to pass or not on the 27th of this month. That's when the hearings resume. Now I like this phrase, Barrister. You're going to say why you're not okay with him. I like this phrase, the indivisibility of the accusations despite the plurality and circumstances of the perpetrators. Barrister, lead defense counsel Barrister Ben Muna actually says he will not appeal the decision by the military tribunal in Yaoundé. In other words, this is an indicator that this could be a lengthy trial, despite what Eddie Etawo says.
No, because if you go to appeal, and you can make the decision come late.
Yes.
You contest the decision, but the procedure allow you to go to appeal. But if you go to appeal, we want this problem to be solved very quick.
Okay.
But by doing that, it was not by doing the jurisdiction, by doing what he did, it was not in the way to solve the problem very quick.
Okay.
That's why Barrister Muna was angry, but he cannot go to appeal. The lawyers can appeal that, but you will stop the procedure. This actual procedure, you will go to the court to solve that small problem and come back. So it will take long.
Okay.
That means they abuse us. When I say us, they abuse the accused. I cannot say us because I'm not part of the accused or the defense counsel. Right. Not yet. Maybe I will be part next soon. I will come to this. I'm preparing to defend them.
All right.
I'm on my way.
That's good news for some of them.
Yeah, some of them. Yeah, I want to assist them.
Okay.
So why I'm not so much optimist. I'm not optimist because I know this regime. This regime is the regime who like to solve everything by force.
Okay.
They cannot release it because if they can release them, they was able to release some of them now by the code of procedure, penal procedure code, allow them to free you to stay at home and come to court. What are they doing in prison when they know the house, when they know everything? You are not forced to put them in jail.
Okay.
Let him go to home and come to the judgment as you know
Can
the
I
house.
say something?
If they have did like this before, free them, like we call liberté provisoire. You free them and they can come to the judge. Okay, that means yes, maybe the government has
there will be a genuine demonstration of good faith.
Yeah.
Okay,
but when you start doing like that, I don't trust them.
Okay, so in other words, you're concluding and agreeing that it's going to be a lengthy trial up until 2018 when the elections are supposed to hold.
I know very well that tribunal, right?
Okay.
So I don't trust.
No.
Eddie, briefly.
And that's why I'm going to
for once
to be there.
For once, I think I trust what the government is going to do with these people. The government has been very afraid of this crisis.
If you are ready, you are right. I will be very happy if you are right.
From my way of seeing things, I think this problem, in the days or weeks ahead, this problem will come to a happy end.
Okay.
The government has been very afraid of these people because why do you think they shut down the internet? Because faulty information, people took advantage of it and were sending across false information, which...
So you try to justify that it's correct to put down the internet?
I'm sorry to interrupt you both, Eddie, I'm sorry, but then we're going to rush out to Yaoundé to meet our permanent correspondent, Tabi Clarkson. Hello? Hello, Tabi Clarkson?
Yes, good morning, Divine, and welcome.
I doubt why you're saying good morning 5 times. We're actually running out of time, Tabi. But the question I wanted to put to you is, what we consider a demonstration of good faith by the government. They announced recruitment of anglophone legal practitioners into the public service. Have you composed your documents to go look for work?
Not yet. Anyway, Divine Ntaryineke, not yet. I'm not composed by documents, but believe me, Cameroonians here and Cameroonians who are here in the nation's capital, they are very much interested with Dieu, and some have started compiling their documents, and many do believe that these measures will help maybe to solve some of the grievances posed by the anglophone community.
Okay.
That one has to say, Ntaryineke Divine, that these measures taken by the government will not entirely solve the anglophone problem.
Why?
It is a step, and the people here in Yaoundé, there needs to be a step towards solving the anglophone problem. So I can assure you, Divine, that I have not yet composed my document for me to deposit them at the level of the ministry.
Okay. Thanks very much, Clarkson. I think that's where we're going to pull the curtains on this edition of Tough Talk. We'll be coming back to you on Thursday. Stay safe, bro.
Okay, thank you. And over.
Thanks very much for sharing your thoughts with us from Yaoundé, Tabby Clarkson. Eddie Etawo, I'm sorry.
Yes.
That's where we call it quits today. Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much, Divine.
You still believe that those detained leaders and others arrested will be released?
If, just to say, if the government had not given them, bail, released them on bail so that they could be coming to court, it's just because the government is very scared.
That they may escape?
No, not escape, but that the people seeing them, that will, keep adding something like petrol into the crisis. Yes. So by keeping them, the government thinks that. But I think time has come. In the days of it.
But by keeping them, some think, Barrister Momo Jean de Dieu, that the government is radicalizing the hardline anglophones?
Not radicalize, but he give you in one hand and take another hand. As I know this regime.
Okay.
He give you what you call, they will recruit you and do this. But at the other hand, he will punish those people who are leaders. He always do like that.
Thank you very much.
He never do different.
We're going to let it go.
Remember when the magistrate...
There will be a difference. There will be a difference this time. There will be a difference this time around.
I hope. I pray you are
my brother, I will see my brother Gobala
thanks once
sooner or
again
later.
for coming to share your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much.
We'll keep the doors open every time you think you have a contribution to come and make. Barrister Momo, Eddie Etawo, you're purely welcome.
Thank you very much.
It's your home as much as it is ours. And thanks out there for staying through the program with us. Catch you same time on Thursday. Meantime, the rebroadcast of Tough Talk every evening. Well, until we come together again on Thursday. Until then, stay safe and be very blessed. More programs are lined up for you on Canal English. Don't you go away.